The man picked up the pliers, used his mouth to retrieve the small knife, then tested it with his thumb. It was razor sharp. He switched on his headlamp, leaned against the wall, and began chiseling the stone before him with care. Stone dust flew as Aaron worked faster and faster, but the rock wouldn't budge. Growing impatient, he gradually increased his force, yet the knife proved utterly useless against the stone. Suddenly, his hand slipped, and the knife fell into a crack at his feet. He immediately took off his shoes and socks, extending his foot to try pinching the knife with his toes, but he couldn't reach it. He picked up a branch, clamped it between his toes, and strained to reach down, but still couldn't get it. Finally, he bent the branch. He managed to hook the knife back and grasp it firmly in his hand once more. Aaron was overjoyed and couldn't help but laugh out loud. That ordinary little knife was his lifeline, but his laughter quickly faded. His right hand, trapped under the rock for so long, had lost circulation. The skin had turned an abnormal dark purple, and he felt nothing when the knife tip pricked it. Aaron chiseled from afternoon until late night. Thirst consumed him, his throat burning like fire. Only when his watch struck midnight did he frantically grab his canteen, pouring the meager water into his mouth. To survive, he had to ration his water intake, allowing himself only one sip every 6 hours. After drinking, Aaron retrieved the safety rope from his climbing gear and repeatedly tossed it upward. His left hand lacked accuracy, and he failed dozens of times. Yet he persisted, patiently trying again and again. Half an hour later, he finally managed to throw the rope onto a protruding rock, securing it. The two men wrapped the other end around their waists and fastened it with safety clips. Now he could finally hang from the rope and rest briefly. Yet the moment he closed his eyes, a cold wind jolted him awake. Glancing at his watch, he realized he'd slept for only 5 minutes. The nighttime temperature in the canyon plummeted drastically. Without movement, freezing to death seemed imminent. Reluctantly, he pulled out his knife and resumed chiseling at the rock before him. As night wore on, Aaron grew so exhausted his vision blurred. Suddenly, he thought he spotted something and turned to look behind him. Morning sunlight streamed through a crack, quickly moving toward Aaron. Delighted, he took off his socks, stretched out his feet, and savored the rare warmth. Unfortunately, the sunlight lingered for only 15 minutes before the narrow crevice's depths plunged back into gloom. At 3 p.m., Aaron turned on his DV camera and solemnly recorded his final words. He hadn't taken his phone with him. Before leaving, he'd taken extended leave from work without telling anyone where he was going. This meant no one knew he was trapped, and rescue was impossible. His water bottle held only a few drops, and his food was long gone. He was ready to give up. Suddenly, falling rocks shattered Aaron's stoic composure. He threw his head back and let out a heart-wrenching scream. Though he appeared calm on camera, who would willingly accept a silent death? He shouted phrase after phrase at the top of his lungs, hoping someone might hear him or even glance down into the crevice. Yet after a long while, the silence above remained, as if the entire episode had been an illusion. Calming himself, Aaron picked up the DV camera again to replay the footage he'd just captured. Seeing his own display of weakness, he felt a pang of shame. He had survived countless perilous situations before, yet now he was wailing like a child. So he closed his eyes once more and whispered softly,